Nimes mentioned that the injuries that were sustained on Nizar Banat were 42 different types of injuries that covered 22% of his upper body. The type of court that the family went through was a military court, which didn't make any sense because the military court has no, significance, and Nizar Banat is not a military personnel, was not military personnel, he was a civilian. The initial report that came out about Nizar Banat's case was only 15 pages, I think, but once Nizar Banat's family pushed for a real investigation of what happened to Nizar Banat, the report ended up being 1,800 pages. On October 2021, the military court hearing began, and within 2 months and with 25 witnesses, on average hearings of 5 hours. That's the span of the court. They did not want to have any observers from other states or international organizations, so they decided that they were going to only hold hearings on Sundays to prevent people from coming to those hearings, because it was so embarrassing what was happening, and very telling, what was happening in the hearings, what actually happened to Nizar Banat. So they didn't want to have international observers be there. On January 2nd, 2021, the Palestinian Authority failed to bring justice for Nizar. Up to this day, that was when it was supposed to be have some kind of conclusion. And it was very clear by then that he wasn't just detained, but he was attacked and killed. And the people that were involved in his hearing were people that the family says that we are embarrassed to say are Palestinian. Some of the people that were mentioned is Zidan, who was put in charge to bring justice, who was already someone who is known for corruption because he was involved, or he was supposed to be responsible for what I believe was a building that collapsed in Al-Khalil in Hebron that ended up having fatalities, including 2 children. So this was someone who was already corrupt. And another corrupt person was Dr. Sabir Anoun, who was already having a case against him, but he was actually being actively involved in this case as if he were a legitimate, representation of the Palestinian Authority. And they kept insisting that Nizar Banat was ill enough that he could have died, and I quote, even if he was just drinking coffee at a hotel, that it was of natural causes and of a stroke. They had a doctor that came from Jordan, and they also want to mention that they are citizens of Jordan, or permanent residents of Jordan as well. So this is not to say anything against Jordan, but even with the involvement of Jordanian medical professionals, they couldn't, come to a conclusion that was valid, and they kept saying things like he died of natural causes or of a stroke. And then they also wanted to say that it seems like part of the reason why the Palestinian Authority said that they could not really reach a real conclusion is because of coronavirus, and this was about 2 years since coronavirus had been introduced to the world. And on May 22nd, 2022, Nizar Banat's family announced that they did not want to proceed with the case within the military court, and have since been pursuing justice on an international level, have been bringing this case to the international community because they could not trust that the Palestinian Authority would fight in a true way on behalf of their family. And the last thing that they mentioned was what kind of support did the Palestinian Authority try to give to the family. And they had said that if they really believed in the Palestinian Authority, they would have happily been, maybe employed by them or supported by them, but they did not accept any kind of compensation or any kind of monetary or material support from the Palestinian Authority.